All right, photo students, time to talk about what Unit 1 is all about and what your tasks are going to be as you go through this online part of the class. So first up, here's our main page on Schoology. You're going to be going to two different areas here for Unit 1. Mostly this yellow folder, where we're doing kind of the turn-in stuff for Unit 1, and this gray folder that says Unit 1, which is where you're going to, well, obviously you found this video, which is where it's going to be posted, but also where you find the presentations and all the content that you need to know to really get good at this part of the class. So to begin with, in the yellow folder, you're going to have some guided notes that you're going to be completing as you go through the presentations. So if you click that open, it's going to look a little bit like this, but it will have your name on the very end here. I've got some instructions written on there. One thing I will mention here is that I'm going to let you use the notes on your test, so please make sure that you do detailed notes. You can access the presentations, video presentations, by clicking the links here or in another area that I'll show you. Your guided notes are pretty simple. As you go through the presentation, you want to type out what you're hearing as the important information to write in. In the presentations, whatever I bolded is usually the answers to the sections within your notes. There is going to be a section right underneath the note-taking area for a learning target where you'll actually need to search online for pictures that kind of show the different techniques that you've learned about. So for example, here you're going to insert a photo that you find online that is overexposed. So you're going to look for a picture that's too bright, save that down, and insert it into the box here to kind of show that you understand what that looks like in a picture. Same for this one, underexposed, and then a properly exposed image here on the end. This is just understanding the concepts behind what goes on in the camera, and then you'll be able to understand then how, when you're taking a picture, to get a result to look the way that you want. There's also going to be a spot where you have a couple questions that are about each learning target that you'll want to complete. Okay, this you don't actually turn in until you're done with all 5 learning targets. So these learning targets are going to be things that we go through in the first few weeks of class here before our unit test. So you've got until then to complete it and make sure that you hit submit. When you're submitting the assignment through here, you'll see a little submit button in the upper right hand corner, and then you'll find a little rocket ship symbol. So it's blasting off into space, giving you the little OK that you've turned it in. Okay, so that's the guided notes. After you've done the guided notes for a particular learning target, I want you to go in and see how well you understand the concepts. So for example, learning target 1, exposure. Here's that video presentation. Here's the actual presentation if you want to view it that way. But then you'll also find a practice quiz here. These are just for your own use. You can take them as many times as you want to see how you did, and also see what the right answers are to know where you're confused. So those are the practice quizzes. They're very similar to what you're going to be seeing on the unit test. So keep that in mind as you're practicing each of these learning targets. So again, we've got 5 learning targets that are part of this first unit. I'm going to be setting up the other units in a very similar way. So you'll have guided notes that you go through and practice quizzes to kind of get you prepared for the unit test. So this is just one of the things we're going to be doing in this class, besides, the picture taking part of the class. Okay. Feel free to ask questions in this frequently asked questions area here if you're confused about one of the concepts.